and welcome to the Santa Barbara Fiesta Parade.
For those of you unable to deal with reality in any meaningful way, like us, for example, what you see behind you right now is not the Fiesta Parade, I don't think.
No, it's not.
No. In fact, it's a large open field. It's the last piece of open space left in all of Santa Barbara.
You're probably asking yourselves, why are we showing you this?
Well, it's because we have as our very special guest on this broadcast, from the San Fernando Valley, developer Art Condo. Art?
Nice to see you, boys.
Before coming to Santa Barbara, Art pioneered quite a number of building innovations. He was the first man to replace lath and plaster with corrugated cardboard, and he's also taken to using staples instead of nails. One question, Art, wouldn't the cardboard tend to break up when it rains?
Well, now, how often does it rain in Santa Barbara?
He does have a point there.
Yeah.
Liberals.
Well, now, Art, the reason we have you on the show is because you have vowed to construct on this very spot on which we're standing a 600-unit condominium by the time we go off the air in 1 hour.
That's right, 600 units plus a laundry room and a jacuzzi.
Well, how do you plan to do this?
As cheaply as possible.
I see. Well, Art, we're going to be coming back to you, checking up on your progress throughout the hour. We're going to be visiting various spots of historical interest in Santa Barbara, and we're also going to be seeing some of the parade. But right now, I'd like to begin by seeing
just a second, Richards. Look, it's the native daughters of the Golden Arches, and they've got ball-peen hammers. Oh, no. Let's...
Get those boys! Get those boys! Get those boys!
Here it is, El Pueblo de la Santa Barbara, a teeming metropolis where a million schemes and a billion fears mingle amid an awesome canyon of concrete and steel.
Gee, that was really poetic.
Oh, thanks. I got it from an old Twilight Zone.
Oh, yeah? Is that the one where Lee Marvin plays a boxer, and he gets he takes place of a robot in the ring, and he's about to...
No, it's the one where William Shatner has a nervous breakdown and gets back on an airplane, and this big monster tries to rip the cowling off the engine, you know? Or maybe it was the one, the monsters invade Maple Street, where the Martians start playing with the lights.
We're running a little short on time, probably.
Yeah, well, okay.
We do have a purpose in being up here, and that is, well, people often ask us, do we get high? Well, this is about as high as you can get in Santa Barbara without a lawyer.
And secondly, we brought you up here because we wanted to show you what Santa Barbara is like today, because we were wondering, what did the first explorers say when they first set eyes on Santa Barbara hundreds of years ago?
Exalted Highness Lope de Vaca de Jesus Rodriguez Gomez, no middle name, Casablanca. We have discovered a new world.
Yes, it's a great new world where a man can be free and open and live among nature and communicate with the flowers and the birds. Where we as leaders of this new world can avoid the old pitfalls of fear and mistrust and create a new spirit of love and harmony and peace now and forever.
That's beautiful, senor.
Thank you very much. I saw it on an old Twilight Zone.
I think we've already used that joke once, El Capitan.
Oh, sorry.
Your vision of love and peace and harmony is beautiful, but what's the first thing we can do to implement it?
Well, the first thing I think we can do is find a couple of Indians and kill them just to show them we mean business. Just because we're new here doesn't mean we can be pushed around.
Agreed. Then what?
Well, I think this area is ripe for fast food franchises. I have a map here somewhere, and yes, here it is. This is a whole new territory. Look here. We're going to put an Indian burger stand in here, and over here.
We are going to make the Indians into hamburgers?
No, that comes later in the 1800s.
Oh.
Now we're going to sell them hamburgers.
Oh, I see.
Let's see now, what can we make the burgers out of? What are there a lot of around here?
Surfers?
No, that would taste terrible.
Seagulls.
Seagull burgers, that's it. Now, another thing, I want lots and lots and lots of banks.
Good, but first we have to invent money.
Oh, money, invent money. This is such a wonderful new world. Don't you see? First we discover it, then we exploit it, then we become Lord and Master of all you we survey. Then we sell it to Freddie Silverman as a sitcom on NBC.
That's brilliant, El Capitan.
Yes, I am brilliant and handsome too. You know, someday I believe that they're going to name a very important building after me right here on this spot.
And they did name a building after him.
And we're going in there right now and worship at his shrine.
Aunque soy chiquitito, la inspiración también canto la bamba.
Well, we're back, and as you can see, Art Condo's making pretty good progress on his promise to construct 600 condominiums in the length of this program. Art, how's it going?
Well, Mark, actually a little slow. About 15 minutes into construction, all the trade unions went on strike. Well, had to fire them, bring in some illegal aliens, spend 5 minutes training them, but okay so far. You know, we got to get the hell out of here. We got a hospital in Santa Monica to put up tomorrow.
Art, I wanted to ask you, what actually was on this site before you began construction of the condominium?
Well, Rich, we're not exactly sure. We think it was an Indian burial ground or something. Even now we're turning up with all these stupid bones. I can't believe it. But we're thinking of putting up a little souvenir shack in the lobby, you know, selling some of the bones with some authentic Indian sayings on them.
Good, good. I like authentic Indian sayings.
Yeah, you know, like Kiss Me, I'm Irish, or Let Me Worry, stuff like that.
I see. It's kind of an authentic Indian motif in keeping with Santa Barbara heritage.
Anything to make a buck, you know.
Right.
Art, there's kind of a problem getting water around Santa Barbara. How are you going to get water for this thing?
Water? What are you going to do, grow orchids in a room or something? You got the whole Pacific Ocean out there. You want water, Buster? Go get it there, all right? Trouble.
Well, Art, we wish you the best of luck. It looks like you're going to make it here, and since I do notice we have a little bit of time, I'd like to sing that medley at showtime.
Let's get tired. They're going to cut us up and eat us.
If you'd care to reserve one of these deluxe condominium units, please write to me, Art Condo, Post Office Box 48, Tijuana, Mexico.
Get those boys! 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 Get those boys!
We're standing now in front of one of the premier tourist landmarks for Santa Barbara, if not the entire state of California.
Hold on. This isn't the Trees of Mystery?
No. This is the famous Santa Barbara Mission.
Oh. Well, if one is to believe the unofficial historian of Santa Barbara, Walker A. Tompkins, in his book Santa Barbara Past and Present, the mission was dedicated on September 10th, 1820.
Now, according to Tompkins, the mission was the 10th in a chain of 21 California missions and is the only one to remain under continuous control of the Franciscans since its inception.
Now, that's what the record says. What do you really know about the mission? We've come into the possession of some rather, let us say, interesting documents recently that would tend to paint quite a different picture.
Yes, we now know that the Santa Barbara mission was built in 1953 by the Chamber of Commerce to give this city some kind of cultural heritage. Upon completion, the mission became a mecca for tourists and real estate developers.
Yes, you heard us correctly. The Santa Barbara mission was built in 1953. Now, you may ask yourself, how has this been covered up for so long? Who is responsible for the public being duped? The answer is a conspiracy of local business interests who we now intend to expose for the first time.
We have in our possession specific times, dates, places, financial transactions. Look, that was involved in this massive fraud. Let's have a look at this, and we'll start right at the beginning. March 7th, 1948. Have a look at this. Just a second. Look at this.
I'm sorry, we're having a little difficulty with the audio portion of our broadcast. Please stand by while we rectify the situation.
See that up there? He's responsible for putting that thing in. You understand? Now have a look.
I'm sorry, but we're having difficulty with the audio portion of our broadcast. Would you please stand by while we try to rectify the situation?
You and the taxpayers. And finally, just a second. I know damn well it is. All right, now just a second. Most importantly of all, and I think finally, the most incriminating piece of evidence is this check from Lee Harvey Oswald for $500. Now there you have it, the whole sordid truth. Oh, I for one am glad it's finally out in the open.
Speaking about in the open,
Fine. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's get her.
Now here's another famous local landmark. It's the Santa Barbara Courthouse.
What do most people know about the courthouse? That it was built at the end of the 1920s, that it's the most beautiful judicial building in the U.S., and that because of the Brooks Institute, it's probably the most photographed building in the country, next to the White House and McDonald's Land, of course.
But what do you really know about this courthouse? Why not come inside? I think you're in for a big surprise. Well, here we are inside the courthouse. As you can see, this isn't quite what you'd expected.
You see, the courthouse was actually built for the Owen Marshall TV series. We have a couple of false fronts here and a few tiny rooms in the back for the courthouse business. It's really a lot tackier than you would think. You see, it's pretty flimsy.
I was really very disappointed when I came in here the first time. By the way, this whole set is scheduled for demolition. They're going to take it down to the Universal lot and construct it down there. And in its place, I'm kind of excited about this, they're going to put the world's first 114-lane vertical bowling alley.
Right, you don't hit many pins.
But boy, the ball sure does come back fast.
Okay, girls, here's the plan. Now, Beulah, you go that way, and Gene, you sneak around. All of you come forward, and you go that way. Edna, you go that way, and grab them, girl. Lily and Isabel, you come underneath them. Oh, great! Right on,
Good, use it.
I'm going to get him this. Thank you, I'm going to get him.
Use it.
I'm going to use her game. I'm going to get you. Swing at it. Let me take a swing at it.
String him up. 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 String him up.
The University of California at Santa Barbara.
Most residents believe that this is just a normal state-run university dedicated to cranking out overeducated liberal arts majors and loosing them on an indifferent, nay, hostile world.
Sure, that's what they'd like you to believe. The truth is something far different. The truth is that the UCSB campus was built by and is being used by aliens from the planet Mars.
Crazy? Well, that's what they said about dog food with cheese, and you know, they were right. But this time, we've got proof. Look at these arcane symbols on this army bunker on the UCSB campus.
Look like the demented doodlings of a berserk art student, don't they? They actually read Alien Spaceship Parking. 75 zip-toes first half hour, 50 zip-toes each half hour after, maximum charge 300 zip-toes.
And look at this. It says not responsible for personal articles.
Yes, this was an ancient landing area for astral spaceships. If this is an example of Martian architecture, I don't know what is. The New English Office Building.
No one approved the plans. No one approved construction. It just appeared here one day.
Placed here by alien beings.
The same goes for this building here. The faculty club. There's not one 90-degree angle in the entire structure. Rumor has it, this is where the aliens hold their meetings to plan for world domination.
Of course, with any Martian outpost, there must be some sort of beacon and easily identifiable structure to guide incoming spaceships.
Yes, Stork Tower. Is this the lighthouse that shows the way for oncoming alien spacecraft? Is the Pope Polish? So there you have it. Proof positive that UCSB was planned and is being operated by aliens from outer space. Now what can you do about it?
First of all, don't fall asleep.
And second of all, write Senator H.I. Hayakawa.
No, he's one of them.
Oh,
He's
well,
the leader, as a matter of fact.
All right. Number 4, don't panic.
No, we're on to number 3.
Number 3 is...
Always? No, never?
Wait a minute. Hold it. Here they come again. Let's get on. Oh,
Finally.
I think we lost him that time.
Hiring those identical twin doubles to go the other way.
I know, that was
the
boy.
only thing that saved us.
But what a hideous fate they suffered. Look out! Mr. Mayor. How are you, sir?
Well, hello there, young man. How are you?
Fine,
Good
sir.
to see you. Didn't expect you this soon. You know, I'm working on my Fiesta beard here. I hope it looks okay on the camera.
Yes, sir. I'm sure it does.
So, what do you want to talk about? I got some important business here. But
Yes, sir. I can see that important
That's
business.
okay.
By the way,
We'll-
I'd say that
we'll
the
just
black
get the
3 on the
interview
red
finished
4.
and we'll get
yes,
you
sir.
right out of here.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
That's fine. Well, sir, we wanted to come interview you, the world's shortest bureaucrat.
Now,
on this.
I'd like to straighten that right out right now because I'm not the world's shortest bureaucrat. These people have
Just
this
you,
joke
you
with me
can't.
all the time about
You
how-
can't. Sir, we can't get you in the frame
Can't
because
get
you're
me in the
too
frame
short.
Because I'm too short.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. I've heard this before. I don't know why you play these bizarre mind games with me, but I'm ready for you this time. I got a little something here. There.
Oh, that's a lot better. Well, Mr. Mayor, we wanted to know why you wanted to address the Fiesta audience.
Well, I'd like to address the Fiesta audience because, quite frankly, I was chagrined, shocked, and dismayed at last year's coverage of the Fiesta. It was arranged in such a way to make me personally, the entire city council, and the city of Santa Barbara all look like idiots for putting on this wonderful parade. I'd like to straighten that out, and I'd like to take this time to say, you know, this whole thing's been arranged here to make me look short. I'm not actually as short as these people go to the trouble of making me appear. I'm 6 foot 3 inches tall.
Mr. Mayor, if you're 6 foot 3 inches tall, I'm 9 feet 8.
That's right. You are 9 feet 8. I'm glad to hear you admit it. I've had this man followed and surreptitiously measured. He is 9 foot 8 inches tall. People who run the television industry construct the props and everything that you see on television so that he appears a normal height and I appear like I'm some kind of a dwarf. I don't know why they go to this trouble, but that's what they do.
Mr. Mayor, if we could change the subject from your severe lack of height, I wonder if we might ask you to tell us a little about Fiesta.
Ah, Fiesta. Fiesta is a way of getting back to our roots, you know? It's a way of getting back to our cultural heritage of tourist exploitation. But it's more than that. It's an honoring of the cultural commingling that's been going on in this wonderful little town I like to call Santa Barbara. You know, since the beginning, the Mexican-American community has helped out the first settlers who came here. They've given aid to everyone who needed it, food, tequila, custom cars, Ricardo Montalban.
Oh, they also gave us their land.
Well, they didn't really give us the land. We sort of had to take it. We gave them a fair price for it. We condemned it and then gave them a fair price for it and then built our own. Well, let's not get into that. We don't like to point that out. We like to point out the friendship that's always existed between the Anglo community and the Mexican-American community, and it hasn't been a one-way street at all by any means. The Anglo community has given the Mexican-American community a lot of, there's too many things to go into right here, but there's been continuous give and take over the hundreds of years that we've both dwelled in this wonderful little town. And that's what we like to point out during Fiesta.
I see. Mr. Mayor, could you also tell us a little bit about the $11 billion that's been spent on the pier reconstruction here on the Santa Barbara Pier?
Indeed I could, and why don't we all go out to the pier and you can see what's happening to your tax dollar. Well, here it is. This is what the furor's been about. This is what the turmoil's been about. This is what the uproar's been about for these past years. And this is an example of your tax dollars at work supporting private enterprise on your wharf.
Mr. Mayor, a lot of people had envisioned something else here.
Something else? This is private enterprise.
Well,
this is what made this country great.
I suppose it's all right, Mr. Mayor, because you are supporting the business community
Yeah.
in Santa Barbara by buying Santa Barbara lemons, and that's...
Oh, well, now wait a minute. They're not exactly Santa Barbara lemons. Now, don't get me wrong, we wanted to go with the Santa Barbara lemons, but, you know, it just wasn't cost effective. I'm sure you can understand that. So we had to send down to L.A. and we get this stuff powder mixed up, you know, and put it in these 55-gallon drums and set up
sir.
here.
It's kind of thin, sir.
Yeah, kind of thin. Listen, don't blame me. I mix it up according to the directions on the back of the thing.
Maybe it was 30 gallons of water instead of 300 gallons.
Well, whatever it was, it's Santa Barbara water, and that's what counts, because that stuff's a meal in itself.
Mr. Mayor, is there going to be anything done about this pier? Is anything else...
What do you mean, is there going to be anything else done about this pier? There are plans going through the city council right at this moment, as we speak. Maybe even as soon as next week, right over there, my cousin's boy is going to come down, he's going to set up a table, and this will do your heart good. He's going to sell 100% Santa Barbara grown avocados right here on this pier.
Mr. Mayor, surely there's something else that could be done.
Because your taxes aren't going to go up too much. We're going to get some CETA matching funds for him over here.
Sir, we're talking about $11 billion in funds lost as a result of this just setting around here.
I'd like to keep this discussion going on, but it's quitting time, you know. The crew's getting anxious.
Quitting time, it's only 3:30, sir.
Cocktail hour, but even better. Come on down to City Hall. We'll get some Zambolas. Maybe we can talk about it there.
To object to the flippant, degrading, nihilistic, and downright silly way that the so-called Deluxe brothers, Procter and Ward, are handling this entire Fiesta thing. Those who work on the parade each year should be institutionalized, so these gratuitous brickbats cannot harm them. The important thing is the preservation of dignity. After all, let's not forget what Fiesta is all about. Overeating, increased tourism, and a chance to talk about something besides high realty prices. The kind of people who would run down Fiesta are the very same people who would question the integrity of Richard Nixon or insinuate malfeasance by this country's major petroleum companies. So let's stand tall. Everyone except the mayor, of course, and preserve ourselves in the spirits of Fiesta. Thank you. We realize this moment there are many people watching who are not Santa Barbara natives. Well, this isn't your mayor or Krishnamurti speaks down to hippies or even Smokey and the Bandit. This is reality, Santa Barbara style.
Now, if you are a first-timer to the Santa Barbara area, perhaps you've noticed a striking similarity in the appearance of the young people in this community. There's a kind of eerie sameness to the aging counterculture types that you see squeezing guavas at Sunburst or playing volleyball on East Beach.
A coincidence? Not hardly.
For you see, Santa Barbara is hard to get into, and when you get here, you have to measure up.
This is a place that few outsiders ever see. It's the Jerry Garcia Memorial Testing and Re-Education Center. Oh, sure, I know what you're saying. Jerry Garcia isn't even dead yet. Well, technically, that's true. But think of all those millions of innocent brain cells he's murdered in cold blood.
When a young person applies for permanent transitory living status here in Santa Barbara, he's tested, evaluated, and put through a grueling battery of written and oral examinations. Then, he winds up here at the Re-Education Compound.
Up, left, You call that a cowboy shirt?
No, sir.
What?
I mean, yes, sir.
You're on report.
But, sir, does that mean that...
Yes, you clean the stash. All of it. Pig. Right, forward, left, How are you people feeling today?
No, sir.
I can understand you. I don't want to be able to. That's better, all right.
Sure, it's tough, but if you measure up, there's a rich life ahead of you in Santa Barbara. You'll be allowed to pay too much rent to an absentee landlord.
You'll get sunstroke during concerts at the county bowl.
And best of all, you'll be allowed to compete for a menial job for employers who don't care and won't pay anything.
So you can see, it really is worth it.
All right, people, fall out!
Mr. Mayor.
You guys are always sneaking up on me. Come on.
Mr. Mayor, what are you doing in there? Come on. What are you doing?
Here, I'm announcing the Fiesta song. There's a theme song for the Fiesta. And listen, this is presented solely for entertainment purposes. And we advise you not to attempt to duplicate any of the effects you see here today. So let's hear it for the Deep Cross Cowboys
and M.A. Ward. Hit it!
Hey, Shiggy, some gas, please?
My mama, she's in prison. My dog, he's in the pound. My truck is out of gasoline and there ain't no more around. Now I love to drive my pickup just the same as any man. I love to drive my RV and my hot new custom van. I love to drive my T-Bird, my speedboat, and my Dodge. Well, hell, I drive a Sherman tank that fits in my garage. And I ain't gonna let no Arab take my wheels away from me, 'cause I make my living driving from the West Coast to the Keys. 400 cubic inches crying out for fossil fuel, but the pump is dry, there ain't no more. I tell you, life is cruel. Now listen, Sheik, your money, I'm a reasonable guy, but if I can't drive my pickup, you can kiss your gas goodbye. We truck drivers are fed up and the time to act is here, 'cause we crave that precious octane more than Lone Star beer. And I ain't gonna let no Arab take my wheels away from me, 'cause I was born to drive a truck in the land of the brave and free. 400 cubic inches crying out for fossil fuel, but the pump is dry, there ain't no more. I tell you, life is cruel.
Well, Art, you did it. You built 600 beautiful units here in the space of the program. Can you tell us what your secret is?
Well, cut corners, hire scab labor, ignore building codes. You know, the usual.
I see, Art, you said you ignored the building codes. Now, Santa Barbara is earthquake country. What kind of jolt will this place accept?
Well, as long as none of the tenants sneeze, and this is in the rental agreement, by the way, I think we'll be okay. Also, it'd be good if they'd avoid any sudden jerky movements, jumping into bed, stuff like that.
Well, what's in store for Art Condo now?
Well, Mark, I'm on my way up to Diablo Canyon. Going to build some condos up there, 1,400 units. Going to call it Plutonium Village. Get them while they're hot.
I see. Is there going to be a fission hole there?
Oh, you guys slay me.
Well, I noticed that we've come to the end of this portion of the broadcast. We have a little bit of time. I would like to sing that medley of Showtime favorites for you right now. And it goes
just
something,
a second. No, here they come again. This time they're in hang gliders. Here, we got to get out of here. Hold it. Come on, we got to move.
If you're interested in a 24-page illustrated booklet on Plutonium Village, please write to Box 48, Tijuana, Mexico. Thank you.
Yeah, we certainly should have done that.
Hello, this is Mayor David Schiffperson, welcoming everyone to Old Mexican Days, and reminding all you tourists out there that if it is more blessed to give than to receive, it is ethereal to spend. Thank you.
And your 1979 Fiesta Parade is underway as we see the Santa Barbara County Deputy Sheriffs riding by looking for the nudist that they heard about just moments ago.
They're looking for bear flesh, and so far they haven't found any.
It's funny, that's what you and I were looking for, Richard. And
now,
finding none.
Coming up here is the first actual parade entry. It's the Spirit of Fiesta. Some young girls here are symbolically robbing a tourist and then overcharging him for warm beer. That's now you know what the Spirit of Fiesta is. Of course, it's overeating, drunkenness, sunstroke, and high realty prices.
Where are we now, Richard?
This is the Chumash Indian float going by right now.
There are a few of them left.
Right, they've had to transfer their people and their heritage to this float there because their land is now a savings and loan.
I understand they're going to open up a series of Indian food franchises on Forest Lawn.
Yeah, right, exactly. They're opening just to kind of get back at...
Yeah, they figure turnabout is fair play.
Yeah.
That's right. Coming up now is the salute to 10,000 years of organic gardening, and they've just dropped it on the ground, and a police officer is coming into the scene, and it looks like it's going to give them a lot of trouble. No, it seems they're moving again. I wonder if they have a permit to pick that up, huh? Organic gardening has gone on for many years until the invention of pesticides. And with the invention of pesticides, this has become a thing of the past.
It's wonderful how they work this into the parade format, you know.
We're waiting now for the Fancy West, none other than Fess Parker, but I don't know. He does have a coonskin cap.
He's probably out taming the wild frontier out there in Goleta.
Yeah, I was going to say taming Goleta anyway. That's hardly the wild frontier, but it certainly is wonderful to see. There's Fess. He's looking. Oh no, that's not Fess. Oh, is that Fess in the Ku Klux Klan outfit there? That can't be right. Well, it looks like Fess Parker has dropped out.
That's that guy from that Xerox commercial I've seen.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is the Deanza Riders are going by here. This is a mixed mounted group. They're still attempting to discover San Francisco. They've been hideously lost this year and
hey, you guys,
for several hundred years.
It's about 400 miles north of here. You got to go north.
Up the coast, you'll find it. Coming up now, with any luck at all, will be a group of Ventura Sheriff's deputies. Yes, that's true. The Ventura Sheriff's deputies, as you well know, are dropping by here to back up the sheriff's office if there is any trouble. And this is the law west of Ojai. These are the men whom the Ojai by night.
Those brave guys.
That's right.
They're the only thing keeping Ventura from complete anarchy.
One of them whistled at us, and it sounded remarkably like feedback.
I don't know how he did that.
A couple of these fellas do need a shave here. We'd like to take a little break for a commercial here. This is one of our deluxe sponsors, and we'd like you to sponsor their products. It's really sort of, or to patronize their products. It's a new concept for cigarette commercials, and all of you youngsters, please pay attention.
Hey, who's that new chick over by the sandbox? Bet you'd like to invite her over to your place for some milk and cookies later on, maybe a little midnight tetherball. Well, there's only one way to impress her. To prove to her that you're a 6-year-old that knows what's happening. Other kids might be home watching reruns of the Flintstones, but you're a doer. You're at the shopping center knocking down old people on your skateboard, and that's why you smoke nummies. Here she comes. Light up a nummie. Take a long, deep, pleasure-filled drag. Now, offer her one. Nummies are for both of you. Pretty soon she says, here's my milk money, big stuff. How about meeting me behind the playground at nap time? Yes, pretty soon she'll be calling you doctor. That's Nummies, the cigarette for the toddler of distinction.
One of our newest sponsors here. They're really selling cigarettes to people who are just too young.
No, really. They're going for the 5 to 8-year-old cigarette market now. Let's do it. Oh, we have an acting troupe coming up the street here.
And they are acting.
This is one of the most avant-garde performances of Shakespeare you'll ever see. This is.
They're very warmly received by the crowd.
The Santa Barbara Shakespeare Summer Troupe. They're performing Hamlet as they go by. This is Act 2, Scene 3 we're seeing right now. There's Polonius, and he's kind of King Lear.
Yeah, this is King Lear.
It's kind of hard to tell. They're moving so quickly.
Act 18, I think, is what it is. Maybe we could invite Clayton Wolfman in here, and Clayton could tell us a little bit about a Fiesta parade of many years back. Clayton has
50 years ago. Clayton, what happened 50 years ago?
50 years ago. That was our famous Depression Parade.
Oh.
A lot of people say the parade's depressing, but that one was crazy. There was a guy, he drove down State Street in this carriage, you see, and he had this bunch of hay bales in it, see? And these people tried to jump out of the windows and land on top of the hay bale.
I see. That was exciting.
That is, unless they had a bunch of shares of General Motors, and then they tried not to land on top of the hay bale.
I see. Oh, now here's one of my favorites. This should be the Metro Theaters float. There you can see President Cooper W. Sticky Floor of the Metro Theaters. He's hosting the float there. Features a man gagging on stale popcorn during an unscheduled break due to a malfunctioning automation system showing Rocky 2.
Hey, this whole float is out of focus.
I know. That certainly is the wrong float for one thing. It's a JC's float.
Oh.
I didn't recognize Mr. Sticky Floor there. That's probably why.
This is B-27 now coming by, and this is the Wells Fargo stage. This is the stage that the Native Daughters of the Golden Arches wanted us under at noon.
And now here we have, there's a lot of Jeeps in this parade. This is the Active 2030 Club, who were originally supposed to be with the Isla Vista Psychedelic Group, but they got hopelessly lost.
Actually, the Isla Vista group got lost.
Right, now the Active 2030 Club, there were a lot more flowers on this float originally, but they were smoking them earlier today, and they're having a good time. These people are active 20 and 30-year-olds.
They do appear to be having a good time. And now a whole bunch of ladies in pink coming down the road. This is the ladies mounted group. Again, Vaqueros del Camino coming your way, which again means get your horse off my road before I call the sheriff. There's the Vaqueros de la Lawno, which means get your horse off my lawn before I call the sheriff. They'll be up a little later. Decked out in beautiful pink, I might add. Say, Richard, how would I look in pink?
No, I'm not sure this is completely authentic the way it actually was in the Old West. I don't know.
Someone is dismounting and tightening up a horse collar down here, trying to reason with the horse, and not doing a very good job. The saddle now falling off the horse, the parade hideously stalled. It looks like the end of Fiesta. Is this it?
Yeah, we certainly should have done that.